Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the January 9th, 2023 regular meeting of the City of Coolidge City Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Norma, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Tom Bagnall. Councilmember Audrey Saavedra.
Present.
Vice Mayor Steve Hudson.
Here.
Mayor John Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Jackie Henry.
Here.
Councilmember Tatiana Murrieta.
Here.
And Councilmember Eric Daniels.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Under presentations, there's a proclamation for Arbor Day, Tree City, USA, discussion only. There's Ricky. Ricky, do you want to read this?
You usually read it.
I usually do, but.
But I'll read it if you'd like me to. I don't have it memorized though.
Oh, never mind. If you don't have a copy of it?
No.
I'll read it. Whereas trees are one of the primary quality of life factors that a city government can provide for its citizens. And whereas trees are a delight to everybody, those who grow them and those who simply look on and enjoy their beauty. And whereas our community trees must be perpetuated to provide the benefits of aesthetics, shade, energy conservation, noise reduction, and community livability. And whereas our forefathers who settled in the desert had the foresight and courage to plant the trees we now enjoy. And whereas the climate and special beauty of the desert Southwest are valuable resources enjoyed by many and should be taken care of for the sake of our children and our children's children. And whereas the City of Coolidge has been designated as a Tree City, USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for our commitment to improving the urban forestry program in our community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John Thompson, Mayor of the City of Coolidge, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 8th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the City of Coolidge and encourage all citizens to participate in the celebration and realize its importance. And keep all the kids from swinging on the trees in Kenilworth Park, will you?
Well, you've been good at that. Just real quickly, I always mention this every year. This is sort of a legacy of our former city manager, Bob Flatley. It's something he did in 2002 or 2003. We will be getting, this will be our 20th year. It's something that was important to him, and it's something that we like to keep going for his legacy. And secondly, you'll be seeing a lot of trees in the next, probably end of February, early March, Main Street and Coolidge Avenue downtown, as well as out west on Coolidge Avenue in front of the old regional park, kind of lining that area out there. So that's kind of our tree project this year to go along with Arbor Day. Public Works will be out helping the Parks Department get those holes dug and irrigation in and trees in the ground.
We also got an $8,000 grant from APS to help purchase those trees.
Well, good. That's good. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing those trees.
Yep, we're looking forward to seeing them as well. I don't know if my guys are looking forward to putting the irrigation in, but they'll do it before it gets hot.
So I was gonna, did you guys reach out to the schools? Because when I was in FFA, the ag class had to go and lay water for our trees around town.
No, we haven't, but I mean, we'll take all the help we can get.
Yeah, so maybe reach out to the ag department or one of the departments in the school.
Right.
I thought Councilmember Murrieta was volunteering to come out and help lay some of that irrigation.
He seemed enthusiastic about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky. We'll move into call the public. This is a time in the meeting where if anybody in the public wants to come and address the council, you have 3 minutes. You can come up and give us your name and your address. You have 3 minutes to address the council. Seeing nobody approach, we'll move out of call the public and approval of minutes, discussion and action. Item 4, City Council regular meeting, December 12th, 2022.
Mayor, move to approve minutes for December 12th, 2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. There's no correction. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay, we're going to move into the business items for consent. Before we get any further, is anybody on the council that wants any of these items removed for separate consideration?
Number 7 and 8.
Okay, number 7 and 8. Anything else? Okay. Then we'll move forward with the other ones. I did have a question about number 5. I don't know, our HR person's not here anyway.
Mayor, I can address those.
Norma, the only question I had is I didn't see anything about steroids. You know, like, well, Mr. Fitzgibbons would know. He was an old weightlifter. They make you go a little crazy, and once in a while they do things that are pretty irrational, and they cost an awful lot to test for. But I didn't see anything in our policy about those.
And no, Mayor, actually, we had an ADOT compliance audit that was just recently performed. So this happens like every 2 years. They come in and they look at our procedures, how we handle random drug testings for CDL drivers. And those recommendations, the reason we're updating that policy is because those recommendations come from. So if you saw nothing on steroids, we can definitely reach out to our rep and see if that's something that's maybe been addressed, either in the future or maybe coming up, and I can get that answer to you. But we're just making the changes as they recommend.
Well, it can certainly wait. I was just curious because we dealt with it over at the courts, and it can be a problem if somebody really gets into that, but it's really expensive to test for them too. So I was just curious. I didn't see them in the policy.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of strange. Okay.
We'll definitely make note of it.
All right. Thanks, Norma. Item 5, consider approval of the updated drug and alcohol policy as required by the Federal Transit Administration for transit funding. Item 6, consider approval of entering into an agreement for purchase of equipment with Norwood Equipment, Inc. for the purchase of a 2017 Elgin Broom Bear Street Sweeper in the amount of not to exceed $275,000, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Item 9, consider approval of the claims for the month of November 2022. Okay. All right.
Mayor, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion we approve consent agenda items 5, 6.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that carries. We'll move to item 7. Consider approval and acceptance of the multi-tenant lease agreement between Terry Glass and E-Cube Solutions LLC for the purpose of subleasing a portion of the G&H Aerospace Inc. leased premises for dismantling of aircrafts and related activities. Okay. Jackie, you wanted this pulled off, and I think I know why, but does anybody have any questions or any discussion on this?
Well, I think we need to add the city of Coolidge as an additional insured.
Okay. You want to include that in the motion?
I move to approve item number 7 and add the city of Coolidge as additional insured. Insured.
That's sufficient, Dennis? Okay. All right. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Item 8. Consider approval and acceptance of the standard industrial commercial single tenant lease agreement between Terry Glass and Daycraft Weapons Systems for the purpose of subleasing a portion of G&H Aerospace Inc. lease premises. Jackie, there you are again.
Same thing with this, so I approve item number 8 with the addition of adding the city of Coolidge as an additional insured.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. And Dennis, you will contact them and,
We can contact and let them know they're approved as long as they add the city as an additional insured.
okay, and everybody's fine with that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We'll move into business, regular items. Item 10, consider approval to appoint a member of the council to serve as the city's vice mayor for a term. If I recall, Mr. Fitzgibbons, isn't that they nominate somebody and then they vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it just says, council members shall, at the first regular meeting, in the month following the general election, choose a vice mayor number to serve a 2-year term. Historically, we've allowed somebody to be nominated, and as long as they get a second, then we vote on the person.
Okay, I guess if that's the case, I'm gonna open it up for nominations.
Mayor, I would like to nominate Jackie Hendry.
Okay. So do I go for any other nominations, or do I, well, that's what I'm wanting, or do I ask for the second first? Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second for Jackie. Is there any other nominations? Okay, then hearing none, I guess we still need to take a vote? Okay. All right, and then in that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, I guess that's it. Congratulations, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, report from the mayor and/or council and city manager. Start down here with Tom.
Well, went to the Lion this weekend, and it looks like we're getting our crowd back finally after, the hiatus we took when they resurfaced the runways, and then right after that is when we had the pandemic. So it looks like we're starting to inch back up. We had about 240 people that we served this weekend, so looking forward to it getting better. And I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
I have nothing.
Okay,
I have nothing in.
Matt, Eric,
I have nothing.
Tatiana,
I have nothing to add.
Jackie.
I attended the Borderland produce, helped out with that, volunteered. That was on the 17th, and I was just trying to see, I don't think I have anything else. I do want to say thank you to all the staff. I think we had a pretty good New Year's Eve. I don't think we had a lot of stuff go on. That's good. So thanks to all of the staff.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, Rick, you have anything?
I, for each of you, gave a summary report on the departmental activities. For some of this information goes a little more than a month, but my hope is to get the council just a summary report of what's going on in every department. I'd like to do that really the first council meeting of every month. So hopefully next month, if I can keep up with it, we'll have something similar on just so you can see what's going on in the various departments. Add a few photos into the document. But I appreciate all of our departments providing this information. So you updated helps me to keep up, even though I do, at all of our staff meetings every week with what they're doing, but at least it keeps the council informed of some of the activities. These are bullet points. We're not going into a lot of detail. If you have questions about any of the things going in this report, feel free to give me a call and we can go into what's going on in more detail for you. I just didn't want to write a book every month. The other thing that I think is pretty exciting, and I would encourage the council to look at this, is that every 10 years we're required by law to have a vote on a general plan. And it's already been, next year will be 10 years. And so next November in the election, we're going to be calling for a vote of the citizens of Coolidge to approve an update of our general plan. It's required by state statute. And you remember that we did the last general plan in-house. We saved the city probably $250,000 by doing it in-house. I thought it was a very good plan. It's been very useful. And it's kind of fun to go look at the implementation section of this plan. If you'd like to pull it out, it's on the city's website under Development Services, General Plan, Final Draft. Look at the implementation of the goals, objectives, and strategies that we identified nearly 10 years ago. And you can see that we followed through with many of these things. We're still working on some of them, and some we will always work on, just to keep the city moving and progressing in an orderly fashion. So just take a look at it as we go into this year. We're going to be holding lots of public meetings to talk about the general plan update and to reformat it a little bit. We're not going to redo it. There's no need to redo it. It's still a very good plan, but to rework it, tweak it, throw some additional goals, objectives, and policies in there, get public input, which is required by the statute, frequent public input, and we'll be working on that effort this year for next year's vote. Anything else, Mayor?
Thank you, Rick. Well, and I can't imagine, so you get the input from the department heads for your city manager report to the council. I just wanted to get you off the hook. That was, for those of you that have been around here a long time, you used to do those all the time and kind of got away from it. And I realized how important they were when people will come up to me and ask me about something and I had no idea anything about it. And the citizens started to know more than I did, so I know it had to be happening to some of the other members on the council. So that's why I asked Rick to do this. I know it's more work for the department heads, and I appreciate that, but it doesn't look good when somebody asks you about something and you don't have a clue and they walk off and say these guys don't even know what they're doing. So that's why that we're doing it, or I ask you to do it. And I wanted those guys to hear it so they just don't know that all of a sudden you've decided to be mean.
They know where I got my marching orders to do this.
Well, I'm sure you blame me. Usually you do, but that's why. And I just thought that I should mention that because I know at one time or another most of the people up here, except for the two new council members, have mentioned to me that there's things that they don't know about. So.
And Mayor and members of the council, I meet weekly with the mayor, and if there's any council member that needs to ask me anything, my door is always open. You're free to call anytime. People call, and so any question that comes up, feel free to contact me about anything that you're asked. You've never been shy about doing that, and we try to get the information.
And I have been talking to the Sun Quarter MPO with Irene Higgs, and all of a sudden, Skousen's a real popular road again, and the highway popular again. We've had more activity than we need to over there. Our police and fire spend a lot of time out there the last couple of weeks. I'm asking them to put a temporary stoplight out there. I don't know if they will or they even do. I've seen them in other places. I'm sure they'll tell us that they don't do it, even though I've seen them I know some of the ones on the reservation were temporary stoplights, but that may be different for one reason or the other. But I'm going to ask them to put one out there through the Sun Quarter MPO and see if we can get one because we're having way too many accidents. People obviously aren't going to slow down, so we're going to have to do something. So I just thought I'd let you know that. And Ben will be here tomorrow morning, I'm sure, with me. We have a meeting tomorrow morning with Sun Quarter MPO right here in this room. So we'll be talking to him at that time. That's the only part. It's a regular meeting, but that'll be something we're going to mention to him. because ADOT will be here. Yeah. Well, right down the road from it, right, Chief? It was between Skousen and the stoplight that we already have, so, yeah. So, anyway, I just wanted to let you know. So I guess that's it for me. I need a motion to get out of here.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for coming, everybody.